Hello and welcome everybody to another episode on my All the Mods 9 public server. You can join, IP's in the description, or if you're watching on Twitch, !IP ATM 9. If you're new here, we record our episodes live, sometimes on Twitch, sometimes on YouTube. Honestly, depends on the mood I'm in for the day and what we're doing. We got some big plans today. Some of you may remember we've got tons of ore to store and process. These are Greg Tech and these are non-Greg Tech ores, minus just a couple that didn't fit in this backpack. I want to do some testing later with some ideas I have of what could improve that. Storage, in terms of using the Inception upgrade, I want to see just what you can automate with 2 backpacks in a backpack. I know you don't want to go too deep, otherwise you'll make a backpack that has too much NBT data and could crash you. But I've been doing a little bit of work here on the server since the last stream. Big thing I did is I added some more witch models to my setup here just to help increase our redstone intake for producing supercells and mega cells. This is a backpack of all the projects we have to do, and today I'm hoping to do this one and this one involving processing ores. I have a cool test we're going to do today. Now, the other thing I did is I condensed the FGB storage system into supercells rather than all of these being filled with 256s. Hi Haja, how are you? Welcome to the stream. Compressed everything into these supercells. As you can see, we've spent a lot of resources. This is a lot of 65M. And the big bottleneck right now is gold for our logic processors, and I was going to do a special process with all the gold ore I collected, but it seems one of the FGB members collected the gold and just fortuned it, which is really, really unfortunate. I had some big plans for it. I'm a little upset about it, but we'll move on. I think we'll be fine. But I got a question in my Discord earlier, and that is regarding SkySteel from Megacells. Now, the way I'm getting SkySteel is I have carrots being fed to an auto trader farmer, which feeds his emeralds to an auto trader for emerald to SkySteel. Now, some people don't like to have to set up villagers and do trading and curing and all of that fun stuff, and it appears some people playing All the Mods 9 think that this is the only way to get SkySteel. And that's not the case. If we take a look at SkySteel, you'll see there is a SkySteel B. I heard someone say that you couldn't get it, and I think they were just looking at the B. You have to make the egg. You have to put a SkySteel block and a spatial bee spawn egg submerged in lava. Also can be a loot crate reward, apparently. But there's another way to get SkySteel, which is the way the mod intends, which is in-world transformation, similar to Fluix crystals. It's charged Certus, iron, skystone, submerged in lava. It used to be water. It's interesting that it says submerged in lava because you'd think the items would burn. So we're going to test that out today. We're going to make a in-world transformation system. But first I want to test this submerged in lava thing because it makes me wonder. Oh, my game just froze. There we go. It makes me wonder how this is going to work if the items are going to burn up or not. So let's get some ChargeCice, some iron, and SkyStone. And for those that are wondering, SkyStone you have to get from meteorites, or there is a mystical agriculture seed for them. So let's take a look. Let's see if there's already some charged Certus. We just need one for a test. We'll set up automation for that in a minute here. We need an iron ingot. And last but not least, we need some SkyStone. Do need a bucket of lava, so let's grab that. And let's conduct a test. We'll just put this right here. I'm going to turn off our magnet and see what happens if I drop these. So they did go in. They didn't immediately burn. So if we actually leave them in there, we get SkySteel. So that's good to know. Now we know that works. What we're going to set up is, unfortunately, when it used to be water, you could do this setup for both Fluix and SkySteel. In this case, we have to choose one or the other, and I think we're just going to do SkySteel for the demonstration. So let's get started here. I'm going to grab all of this row, and we'll head up to my second floor of my room. And we already have a wireless connector bringing some channels over here. I was thinking we would utilize this same connector. Now, I didn't want to run the cable out in front, so let's run it out behind. And we'll bring it over to this corner. Now, this is one of my favorite designs for creating Fluix crystal and or SkySteel. There is a oh, hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. Now we gotta wait. If we open one of these and open the guide for AE2, believe it or not, they now have example setups. And if you come to throw in water automation, you'll see they show a system here, which is a blocked pattern provider with storage bus, interface, formation, annihilation. We're going to do the same thing, but I'm going to change the position of a few parts of it here. What we'll do is take our pattern provider, and I'm using an extended pattern provider. Now, normally you use these because you get 4 rows of patterns, and we only need 1 pattern here. But the thing is these extended pattern providers can be searched for their location in an extended pattern access terminal. And that's what we want. So let's start with this. Let's think of where our lava is going to be, where the blocks will be, to make this as condensed as possible. Now, no matter what, the annihilation pane needs to be on top, because items float. The SkySteel floats after it is made. So we want the annihilation pane, don't need enchants, to be on the top. And what I'm thinking is we'll go pattern provider. Let me think. Pattern. Yeah, well, let's just do this down. We may just copy exactly what the picture shows, but I kind of want to make it more horizontal. I'm going to pull this back 1, put down my pattern provider. And the first thing that needs to happen is an interface on the pattern provider into a cable into our formation pane. And I'm going to do it on the side here. We'll go formation pane. Now there's going to be lava here, so let's glass it up. And I'm going to place a temporary glass for our annihilation pane. And the annihilation pane is going to come over to a storage bus on the pattern provider, and we're going to say that the only thing this can store is SkySteel. Now, all that's left to do is connect the networks and give them power. And the way we're going to do that, this mortar is in a horrible place. But what I can do is just grab a energy acceptor and plonk it down here. Bring over this cable. Again, this is a little messy because we're building around another machine. But we're going to quartz fiber this and do that. Now, this last little section, we want to make sure we do one thing. We want to make sure that this is set to drop as item. And then we're just going to put our lava and our glass really quick here. Beautiful. So this is the actual contraption. Ignore where the power's coming from. If this motor wasn't here, we would just put quartz fiber there. All right. Last but not least, we need a pattern for SkySteel. Now the thing is I don't want this to just do one at a time. So if we take in-world transformation, we'll see that one full pattern gives 2. Well, what I'm going to do is actually change this to, I like to work in bit logic. So we're going to go 8, 8, 8, and 16. Make that a pattern and put it in our pattern provider, and we're going to hide this in our terminals. Now, this should actually already be functional, but the problem is we need to automate ChargeCice and SkyStone. But there's another problem. Anybody flying by here with a magnet on, like we have, will pull the items to them while it's transforming, and we don't want that. Well, there's a cool item in the game added by Simple Magnets called a Demagnetization coil. There's 2 versions of it. If we take a look at it, we type demag. There is a 5-block radius with filtering, and there's a 3-block radius no filtering. I've just got the basic 3-block radius, and we're going to put this down right next to our system. And we can see the radius. Anything in here will not get sucked up by a magnet. So let's run a quick test of please make me 16 SkySteel, because we have enough ChargeCice. All the items get thrown in, transformed, and the annihilation pane picks it up. Autocraft complete. Now for ChargeCice, that's going to be really simple here. We're just going to grab a not a normal charger. We're going to grab an extended charger, which looks like we're missing patterns for. Let's make a charger pattern as well as an extended charger. And throw these into our assemblers. I want to go through and hide all the pattern providers for these things so that we don't see them anymore. But for now, we'll get an extended charger. And you know what? Why don't we set it up here? We've already got kind of a system over in this area. But let's take a look at the extended charger. Let's pull it up and place it down. There's no right-click GUI. It just can hold 4 items. So we're going to do a very simple pattern and import bus. We'll go ahead and grab an extended because I like to be able to locate pattern providers. And we'll grab a import bus pretty easily here. Now, the big thing is we need the import bus to be filtered, that it will only take charged SerDes, and wire it up. And then our pattern provider can just go on the bottom. We're going to hide it, wire it up, and you know what? We'll just leave the cable mess as it is, because these are all kind of temporary. I have a big plan using spatial I/O to condense everything, but let's just get the system up and running first. So we need a pattern, as usual, stating, oh, whoa, what did I just press? I don't know what I just pressed. I'm going to look into that later. Charge SerDes crystal 1-to-1, but our charger holds 4. So I want it to always do 4 at a time. We'll go ahead and throw that in here, and it is hidden. Let's test our charge SerDes. Let's make 200. They go in, they charge, and they should get pulled out. The only thing we need to do is speed up the bus with some acceleration cards so that it pulls faster. But there we go. Charge SerDes. Perfect. The only thing we're missing is SkySteel. I don't think we have the seeds made for them. Maybe we can do that really quick. We need 4 tertium, 4 SkySteel. So I'm going to grab 4 SkySteel. 4 tertium. Looks like there's already 4. And I believe if we head over this way, Donut or Gabe has a seed creation setup, but they're doing the thing. They have them powered constantly and with an item sitting in the top. I need to tell them not to do that, but we can use it for now. We'll place our tertium, our SkySteel, and just like that, we should get SkySteel seeds. And I'm just going to add this to one of the farms. And last but not least, let's make a pattern for making SkySteel from Essence and throw that in the system. Sweet. Okay. SkySteel crafting is now automated. Should we somehow outpace the villager? I mean, we've got 25K backlogged. I doubt we'll outpace the villager, but I've had people ask about that, so I wanted to get it done. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is take my remaining glass and kind of make a little capsule here around it. Just for fun, just because I think it looked good. Now, I don't think I've covered, I made my Behemoth SerDes farm. It's a new design I came up with. The only thing is this is missing, there should be 4 more flawless SerDes here. But I didn't have it at the time I was making this. I only had 60 flawless SerDes because it takes a lot of meteorite hunting. I have since then collected 4 more flawless SerDes, and I'll add it to the wall later, but this is a really cool system. What it is it is a controller subnet into the main network, and this side is for SerDes crystals only. So as we can see, it's disconnected, and its storage bus only allows crystals into this interface, which comes up to our main network. And this side is for Certus dust and silicon. So honestly, you don't even have to really put a filter, but dust, silicon, and crystal in case a bud grows 100 to 0, or 0 to 100. Now you'll notice the panes on this side, some of them have purple smart cable and the rest don't. And none of them have that here in the back. And that is because I am still in the process of enchanting all of these panes with Fortune 8 Efficiency 9. Any of the ones with purple are done being enchanted. All these other ones are not enchanted yet. And I'm thinking, because these are rows of 8, I'm thinking 24 annihilation panes on this back. To auto get silicon, they need to have Auto-Smelt on the pane. I'm going to do that for some of those, but just being on and only collecting crystals and dust, despite all the crafting we've already done, we've already got 4 million, 3.6 million of the various Certus types, which is fantastic. I love this thing. I wish I'll have to finish this other side, but we're working on stuff today. We'll have to do that one later. Next up is that ore processing. Now, I wanted to conduct a little test. The test we're conducting is I don't want to process. So when you look at, for instance, gold ore, you have the gold ore from being silk touched, then you have the raw, and you get more raw by fortuning the silk touched block, I should say. And then you can process the raw gold even further using mechanism, theurgy, there's a million mods. I believe the best in the pack is a max tier Crusher Spirit from Occultism. You get 6 dust per raw. But I don't want to do that. I want to process directly from a silk touched ore into ingot with 1 break. Now, the way I've done that in the past has been with annihilation panes with Auto-Smelt. This has Fortune 8 Auto-Smelt, which means it fortunes the block and then smelts the raw ore in 1 break. And that's how we did it last season. And we might do it again. Now, I've gone ahead and made a breaker module from Modular Routers. It also has Auto-Smelt. It has Efficiency 9, Fortune 8. But I wanted to do a test. You'll notice the pickaxe name says Experienced Netherite Pickaxe of the Serendipitous. That's because I apothesized the pick before making the breaker module. For those who don't know, a breaker module, you combine up to a netherite tier pickaxe with a blank module, and it inherits the pickaxe's enchants. But I want to know if it inherits apotheosis gems. Now, I can't for the life of me figure out how to... I've set keybinds. I've tried everything I can. I can't get this flags to move, and I can't get it to tell me exactly what was on the pickaxe. I can't find that anywhere. So that's my bad for making it off camera. But in the pickaxe, I put a perfect... If we type fortune, I put a perfect gem of the earth, which on a pickaxe adds 4 to levels of fortune, as well as a perfect ender surge, which adds 2 levels to all enchants. The way we're going to test this is we're going to set up an annihilation pane and run 64 of an ore through it. We'll probably do iron, as well as a breaker module run 64 ore through it and compare our outputs. So let's set up this test. I think most importantly, we'll grab some cable here. We'll just pull out, and then some quartz fiber to make this a separate network. And then I'll just use a ME cell dock, which for those who don't know, Megacell's finally fixed the recipe for these super cheap ways to just have one cell on a network. It's fantastic. The only thing we'll need is a terminal and a cell for it. Let's just grab a crafting terminal, and you know what? We'll just grab one of the supercells. That's where the process door is going to be going anyway. We'll put this down. I'll put down a dock. We'll put a supercell in it, and you'll notice it comes online. And we'll grab that terminal, place it here. Or we don't even need to do another cable. We'll place our Fortune 8 Auto-Smelt pane right here. And then we'll need a modular router to place the ores. Why don't we grab a placer, some speed, and a modular router. And I'm going to put the modular router right here. Take our placer module and say front, and give it some speed. We'll turn on eco mode just to be safe. Now we should be able to run 64 iron ore through this. So 64 ore in, and iron-wise, 295 ingots. Let's play it safe and run that again. So we got 295. $295, 306, around 300. We get about 300 from a stack. Now, I'm going to need another modular router, which I think I prepared. There it is. This one has a placer module in it. I'm actually going to change that placer to a breaker set to front. And I might need to add a security card set to me so that it can break blocks. And what I'll do is I'll take this placer and say back. And when the breaker module breaks items, it goes in the buffer. We need the buffer items to be put somewhere. Why don't we just keep using this terminal by taking our cable and a import bus with speed. 1, 2, 3, 4 import bus. Beautiful. Let's put down our cable and import. All right, let's try this out. Let's take a stack of iron ore. It's in eco mode. There we go. It's getting broken. Now we know it breaks so fast that it needs to be helped. No way that the gems worked. 486. Let's test that again. Maybe I left the previous ingots in there. No way. The gems work on the breaker module? No way. Yeah, it's doing it so fast. So much iron. It worked. It worked, guys. The breaker module took the gem enchants. So that's how I'm going to process our ores, without a doubt. Now, in order for it to keep up, I'm kind of curious if I also added one interface. We're still under 8 channels in this small network, and added a pipe with ultimate upgrade, which can do a stack at a time. Let's see. If that can keep up with how much ore is being made. Oh yeah, that kept up perfectly. Awesome. And that should have been another, yeah, holy cow. I'm so stoked that that works. So I'm actually going to do this here and tell you what, I'm going to take this fortune efficiency and auto smelt. I'm going to grab my color applicator and I'm going to add the first silicon pane over on this side. So let's take this off, place our auto smelt and dye the cable. And I'll just put this pane away. So just like that. Let's see how. So if it's 500, it's about one with. So again, it's got Fortune 8 on the pickaxe, plus 4 levels from Earth, giving it Fortune 12, then plus 2 levels from Ender Surge, giving it Fortune 14, which is gnarly. We need to process these ores that are smeltable. That's important. We only want the smeltable ores. So I'm going to take this backpack and I'm going to put it down. We'll add a... Oh, I keep pressing things that I don't mean to press. We'll take a... We don't need the speed of ultimate, really. Let's just take a advanced. And when we put this down, I'm actually going to block off both sides so that we can add a filter. Now let me put this color applicator back. And let's grab the smeltable ores we want. The other... Oh, we could do multiple processing. You know what? We'll save the fortune. For instance, the emerald, the coal, the diamonds. We'll save that for later. For now, let's go through here and grab iron, copper, osmium, iron, aluminum, lead, nickel, silver, zinc, tin. These are all fine. Tin, lead, nickel, silver, aluminum. Nether gold ore. Now, that's going to drop ingots. Or nuggets. So we'll save that for the non-fortune. Diamond, redstone. All those are for fortune. Osmium. Let's see. Zinc. Aluminum, platinum, zinc, redstone, diamond, tin, emerald, plat, aluminum, uranium, blocks of osmium, lapis. This is where those extra Greg techs are coming in. I think that is everything we need to worry about. I am going to also... No, we won't process the ancient debris. So let's come here and we'll just click add. Now, I don't know if there is a tag that would be called like smeltable ores. If I knew that tag existed, I'd use it, but I am not sure. And if we miss any here, we can just add them later. Nickel, lead, aluminum, deep slate iron, osmium, copper, and iron. This is where I also would have added the gold. Let's add the gold manually. Let's go gold ore and deep slate gold ore. Throw all this back in the backpack. And now if we tell it can push, eco mode will catch up and it'll get started. Beautiful. Now we also need to empty the stone, netherrack, endstone, deep slate, dirt from this. I think I've already made bulk cells. There's cobbled deep slate. We need deep slate, stone, netherrack, endstone. Yeah, we're kind of getting there. I was going to use bulk for them, but I had an idea to take a mega cell. And rather than bulk items store it, I wanted to take this one cell. Ah, but the bulk can auto compress. Now that I'm thinking about it in my head, I think we will do bulk. So we already have an endstone and cobbled deep slate. We don't have cobbled, but we have netherrack. Let's make a stone deep slate, dirt, and grass bulk cell. And I'm going to show you the fastest way to load these. So you might be thinking of putting an import bus or a pipe or something and pumping it into the system, but that's actually really slow compared to what we can do. What we can do is just put your everyday storage bus. Let's grab these bulk cells. I haven't set up mega decompressors, so I'm not going to add the compression cards yet. We'll do that later. Let's just take some cable, and on the main network, we're going to storage bus this backpack. Over here, we'll partition our cells. And check this out. By making this part of the main network with a storage bus, if I do network, we're going to flip the arrow, network to cell, stone, look how fast. Thousands of items a second. Multiple thousands of items a second. It's going to pull it all out. So let's put these back in, and what I'll do is in here, we're going to say move to output when work is done, and put in all of the blocks we need to pull from this backpack, which is also going to be... Oh, we already had a stone. I thought that was cobble. Well, this will get emptied, and then we'll fix it. So we want our netherrack and endstone, right? Yeah. Let's throw these in the queue. And we'll just let this run. Now, we could add more I/O ports and have it all going at once, but that's not the best for server performance. We'll just have one I/O port going at a time. And that's going to totally empty out this backpack. Of these blanks we don't need, of the blocks such as dirt, stone, whatnot, we do need to process all of the fortunable ores, and then we need to add storage for all of the GregTech ores. and I wanted to do the GregTech ores via a supercell. Now, if we look at the tags, you'll notice it's part of Forge ores, but I believe... Oh no, it is just Forge ores. I think what I can do is this. What we're going to do is kind of cool, actually. I'm going to grab another mega cell dock. I should have one more spare super. We're going to grab a interface. I don't need extended. And what we're going to do is grab a tag storage bus. Oh, this is tag. How can I get this to pull up? Well, we know that they are part of extended AE, so I'll just type it there. We're going to grab an ME tag storage bus. Now, I'm going to come to our little storage area down here, and we're going to set this up I think this is going to be kind of cool. I'm going to take a quartz fiber to give us a separate network. And I think we've got plenty of channels. We'll wait for the network boot to finish. Yeah, we got plenty of channels. I'm just going to put a cable, a dock that will show the cell outward. Let's see if I can do that. No, that puts it that way. What happens if I place it here? Is it just always going to face that way? Looks like it. That's fine. So here is our supercell. Now, before I place the storage bus, I'm actually going to take the cell out so that there's nowhere to store items. I'm going to put a cable down with a storage bus. And the way we're going to do GregTech ores only is we'll add 2 requirements for the tag bus. 2 requirements. Which is, it needs to be Forge ores. Is it ores? I actually can't think off the top of my head. Forge ores. And then we're going to go space. And we're going to say... and GTC EU wildcard. Now, is that right? Is that... if we type GTC EU, yep, that is the GregTech tag, GTC EU wildcard. So this is saying Forge ores that are also from... it has to be from GregTech and has to have the tag Forge ores for this storage bus. Let's check the guide. We want... yeah, okay, perfect. I think we did it right. So let's add a interface, our supercell, and let's give this a higher priority than the main network storage. So I'm just going to go with like 400,000. And now, if I take my GregTech backpack, and this one we will have to import. So I'm just going to place it down. And we'll just do a single import bus with acceleration cards. We're not going to go too crazy here. There's not too many ores. Once it finishes these dusts, fact, let's just do a test. Let's take a few of the ores, throw them into the network. Did they go to the supercell? Okay, it doesn't show items, so... Did we do something wrong? What if I do single space? And we want Greg Tech ores. That's Greg Tech. Let's put this in. Okay, didn't take it. You know what? Why don't we just do forge ores? Just to see if it works. So I'll take the deep slate iron. Perfect. So the and tag wasn't quite working properly. But I've heard this is kind of bugged. Like, for instance, it says to do 2 and symbols, which is interesting. I would have thought, I really thought the and GTC EU wildcard would work. Why don't we... Let's take a look at the guidebook again. It shows it in parentheses. Let's put it in parentheses. Maybe it has to have a priority. So, let's grab another terminal so we can access this supercell. Like so. And grab our deep slate iron ore out of it. There's nothing in there, right? Okay. And let's grab some Greg Tech ore. And we'll do a test. So, now with the parentheses, Greg Tech ore in. Still didn't work. Oh, we're missing that. Let's try that again. Maybe that was the problem. Holy cow, just give me Greg Tech ore. Why can't I find this? Am I blind, guys? Okay, another beryllium. So let's put beryllium in. No, that just doesn't want to work. So we will just store all forge ores. That's fine. We do that, they should all come in here. Perfect. We'll have to wait to learn what we're doing wrong here. Because apparently the and symbol doesn't work. But now that we're importing these, it's done with the dusts. We're getting coal ore. Let's make sure the coal ore is coming in here. Perfect. That's what I want to see. And what we'll do is set up export buses to these breakers. I'm going to move this breaker setup eventually, but I wanted to do it on stream. We'll move this eventually. Almost done pulling the garbage blocks out. Let's put the mega cells away. Put 2 here. There should be kind of an empty stone one brass, and then over here this should be 500,000, 500,000. Place those, and I'm going to departition this cell by coming here. Once this end stone is done, I'm going to transfer from cell to network and departition that. Go ahead and throw our end stone in there. And now we're going to be clearing out our GregTech ores and breaking all of our, well, breakable ores. That's going to take some time because of the way I stockpiled. The only thing that's left to do is to do this exact same setup. We need to make another pick, but the pick needs to not have Auto-Smelt. The reason is some of these, like for instance coal, if we fortune core with Auto-Smelt, well the thing is coal can be smelted into graphite. We'll get graphite. We don't want that. So we're going to have to make another gem. I don't know. I stole the gems from here earlier. Yeah, we don't have enough to make another perfect earth. Do we have enough for a perfect ender surge? No, we don't. That one I got gifted. I got gifted the ender surge, along with some pearls and gem dust. So I god forged my pick and my armor. I kind of want to god forge this and turn out all the modium, but we'll save that for another time. Next big thing is we really want to get into bees. These items were going to be for ore breaking, but now that we know the breaker module pick does better, we're probably going to use this method instead of the panes. This is definitely an end game method though. It is expensive to make the picks for these breaker modules. Now the only thing we want to test is right now these are running at 9 speed. Turn on eco mode. They're running at 9 speed. Let's run a profile to check the UST of these modular routers, and if they're over 200, that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna go about 250. If they're more than 250, we're gonna lower the speed to 8, which will significantly slow down the time that it, or how should I say this? It'll increase the time we need to process all of our ores. But we'll find out here. The breaker module might be, yeah, okay, 308 on the breaker module. That's still not that bad. 308. But if a lot of people do it, it'll be bad. So let's lower to 8. 8. And that is going to take longer to get through all the ores, but should have a better UST now. Beautiful. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we have covered how to automate SkySteel. We've gone over the Certus farm and other upgrades I've done in the base so far, as well as we have found a new method of ore processing. The only thing we need to do is that in order for these ingots to be visible on the network, that's why I saved this little gap. All we need is a interface and a storage bus. And I'll move this to a better processing area sometime this week. I've got so much to do. Donut and Gabe are moving so fast, I need to keep up. They're probably getting impatient at how slow I'm moving. But I'll get caught up. I'll get there. Thanks so much, everybody, for watching. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like and maybe subscribing to the channel. And I'll catch you all next time. Bye-bye.